Well, friends, look what we have. New bag delivered from the meat eater. Just kidding. First Lite. What do we have? Friends, we have the new Trace. So I'll be doing a review on that the rest of turkey season and all my scouting leading up to hunting season. I was one of those people that was writing them complaining, hey, we need something for us Southeast hunters where we don't sweat our backsides off trying to get out in the woods and scout and set up for hunting season. So it really reminds me of that old ripstop style camis that we had, maybe almost like a frog suit for you service members that got to go overseas. Almost, that's what it almost reminds me of. It's a little bit thinner, kind of got that grid material to it, a little ripstop type material. So stay tuned. Here we are. So it's the new Trace camo from First Lite. I said I'll be going out turkey hunting this afternoon and I'll be taking this with me. I really like these the vent openings on the side of these, on the side of the trousers. Almost wish these a little bit different material on the underarms, kind of like the baseball jerseys were. The Major League Baseball made the baseball jerseys that way. But these pockets would be pretty interesting when you're up in a tree. I don't know, we'll see. Stay tuned for the rest of these reviews. I'll be comparing this directly to endurability and how much it allows you to cool off compared to like the Magellan brand is what I have. So that's what we use. I got the Magellan. It's like the fishing type dry wick material in camo and mossy oak, and we'll try that and this, and I'll use it the rest of the summer as I go out scouting, getting ready for deer season. So stay tuned for the long-term review. All right, so first impression of the First Lite Trace. We're on our way to the turkey woods, and we just had a frog strangler pour down on us, and it's mid-80s, and it feels like it's about 90% humidity out there, but it breathes pretty nice. So when we hit the woods, I'll give you a review of the first day in it. Stay tuned. So day 4, wearing my new Trace pants. You can see yesterday I was running through some briars and I was getting some pretty good picks. Did get that one pick. That's pretty significant there. I don't think these things would wear well for bear hunting, but they are a lightweight summer clothes, so I think they'll do good for that. I don't think they're running through briars to get ahead of turkeys is probably what their strong suit is, but they're holding up pretty good. I'll continue my review. All right, so I wanted to do the post-turkey season review of the First Lite Trace. So just a little background information on this. I had the gear for about a week and a half, 2 weeks, the last 2 weeks of turkey season here. We had some mid to upper 80s, relatively high humidity like we normally have here in eastern North Carolina. And the situation is I was hunting a lot of field edges, and in these field edges where they just push the tops of the fields off and pile up dirt along the edges of the fields. Where that dirt is generally grows up to be pretty dense brush, a lot of greenbrier, a lot of devil whips, stuff like that. So I was running through some of that, trying to cut turkeys off because I had about 500 yards that I could move up and down on this field, and these turkeys were moving away from me. So I was trying to cut them off. I was running through some pretty dense brush, pretty nasty briars, and I was getting dinged up pretty well. I mean, I looked like I was in some nasty fights as far as my cuts on my arm, and I was bleeding. So that's what the clothes were going through. Typically I was wearing a pack where I had 3 decoys in it. It's an old LB pack from the Marines, and I carried 3 decoys and a 2-panel blind, and so I was pushing around 20 to 25 pounds and then I had a turkey vest on that had all my calls and stuff, and in my First Lite Trace gear. So I was getting pretty on the days I was exposed to the sunlight, I was getting pretty warm, working a pretty good sweat. But I can tell you, when I took the gear off, it dissipated the moisture pretty well, and I dried off pretty quickly. I was pretty happy with the way the gear performed overall. I don't think that its strong suit is going to be like in a bear season when we're going through bay brush and some really nasty stuff. I don't think I would want to use it for that, but it would be kind of cold for that gear at that point anyway. But I'll go through and I'll make a short clip just showing you the difference. So the scentlok that you see at the very end, I had for all of bow season, or most of bow season last year, and the rest of deer season. I wore it a lot, and I would say that product I was pretty pleased with. It did nick up a little bit. You know, you can see some of the threads that have been pulled loose, but it's not a lot. But it does show signs of wear. But for one season, it was pretty good. And then you got the first Lite Trace, which I wore for this turkey season. I actually wore both of those pieces of gear for turkey season. And then you can see the Magellan, which wore some. I did wear it last year. I usually wear it to scout and hang stands because it was so thin. I don't really like hunting in it because the material is just polyester, and it's got kind of a shine to it. But it's great if you're just out scouting or if you're hanging a tree stand. So, and obviously it's a lot cheaper to walk around and scout in that Magellan gear than it is these other two. So if you wonder why I have so much warm weather gear, well, it was in the 80s last year here in December. So we did get some really cold weather, or relatively cold for North Carolina towards the end of December. But the day I shot my buck, it was December 3rd, it was 60 degrees, 62 degrees when I got in the woods, I think, and it warmed up to like 79 by the time we recovered that deer, which wasn't very long. He just didn't show up till 10. So I'll stop this part of the video and go show you the clothing. You can see this, there's a little bit of nicks and tears in the fabric of this scentlok, but it's got 2 seasons in it now. Last year deer season, this year turkey season. And it's thicker material. It gets a lot warmer than the first Lite Trace. It'd be great for like early morning hunts when it's cool here. Then here's the first Lite Trace. So you can see some of the nicks and pulls. Got to run over here. But overall, I think it'll hold up pretty good. I think if I was them, I would have doubled up on these knee pads. It held up pretty good. And here's the first Lite. I mean the Magellan. You can tell the shirts. Generally what I'm getting tore up by in the woods is the greenbrier and stuff that are down low. None of the shirts really show any kind of sign of wear. And you can kind of see that shine that comes off of the Magellan. I'm not saying you couldn't kill deer or turkey with it, but it would only exaggerate your movements. You got that little bit of shine on you instead of a dull finish or a matte finish. A shine would give you away when you're up the tree moving around. All right, so that concludes the turkey season evaluation of the first Lite Trace gear. Probably do it again here in bow season when it's in the 90s. And pretty high humidity here in North Carolina, but overall I was pretty happy with the gear. I think if you're asking yourself, is the gear worth what it costs, that's relative to you as the user. Is it necessary? No, not really. I could probably kill deer in that Magellan just as easy. At the same time, there's some advantages to that to the first Lite. They put a lot of thought into those pants, and I really like the ability to zip down the sides, zip interior of the leg to dissipate heat. I think that was really well thought out. Putting the pockets on the side, I think it's going to be really nice when I'm up in the tree in a saddle, because I will be able to stuff things in those, I guess, armpit pockets is what they're called. I don't know, but I really like the gear. I think it's going to come in handy. I think you couldn't go wrong with any of them. The scentlok is a little bit heavy during the early part of bow season for down here, so I don't think you can go wrong with whatever you choose. Remember, being camouflage, being concealed, being quiet still is more important than the name on your clothes. But if you're looking for some technical hunting clothing, I don't think you can go wrong with First Lite. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you like it and you want to see more content, comment, like, subscribe. Thank you.